Welcome back to the channel. Today we are using Adam's iron remover and decontaminating my 2004 Honda Accord. If you watch my other videos, we detailed the engine, did the wheels and tires, did a 2-bucket wash, got it all ready, getting it prepped for polishing and waxing. So I'm using Adam's iron removal here. Spraying it on. The bottle is just enough to do a full-size car, definitely a mid-size car like this Honda, probably big enough to do an SUV as well. I was very liberal with applying it. I just keep going over it and over it and over it, since I haven't done anything like this on this car for a long time. I mean, the paint actually is in pretty good shape. The car's been in the garage. Long story short, it was my parents' car. They're older and not in the best health, and I was able to take over this car because they don't need it anymore. So happy about that. When I came back from New York, roughly a year and a half, just about 2 years ago. And I gotta drive clean, man. I don't have to have the nicest car. I like driving cars like this actually because they're just so affordable. I'd rather have a car like this that's in excellent shape, that has everything done to it. You know, good tires, good brakes, the oil's been changed, everything's been well taken care of. It's super easy to afford, that doesn't break down, and it doesn't have the tech that the newer cars have. So that's me. I'd rather drive this than have to really struggle to drive something expensive and exotic. Eventually we're going to get there, but I'm not ready yet. Anyway, so spraying it down with the Karcher pressure washer. I'm using the white nozzle. It looks like I get really close to the paint, but it doesn't hurt the paint. This pressure washer, it's not very strong, and the white nozzle does a good job of softening the pressure, so to speak. You can't really tell it's a white car, but this stuff turns purple when you spray it on, and you really want to make sure you work fast when you use this because you do not want it to dry in the sun. So you want to do it in the shade or early in the morning. This was somewhat early in the morning, but right before the sun came out, so I had some time. Or I'm sorry, the sun was out, it was just a cloudy day. Go figure. I mean, obviously the sun's out. But you get what I'm saying. So you want to make sure that this stuff doesn't sit out in the sun, bake into your paint and dry, and then you've got a mess on your hands. So I went around a few times with the pressure washer and made sure I got all of it off. Very important, got to do that. And prior to this also, I used Adam's strip wash. Did a video on that if you want to check that out. First time using a strip wash. I've just never really felt that I've needed it. I've always felt like, well, I'm not the type of person to wax cars every 3 months or every 6 months even. I'll go a year, sometimes 2 years if I'm not driving a lot, and I'll just do like a top coat, like a bead maker, keep it clean. So what I'm getting at is usually the wax and sealant is completely gone when it's the next time for me to wax again. I love the detail, I love to keep my cars clean, I'm a fanatic about it, but at the same time I found that washing your cars too much, waxing your cars too much, unless you're a professional, you've got all the best equipment and the best technique, you're going to put love marks in your car, you know. So I found that it's just better to do it less if you have the option to do so. If you have a garage, you're not going to have to wash your car as much. If you don't have a long commute, you're not going to have to wash your car as much. And I work from home, so I'm fortunate to work from home and to have the garage space. So the car doesn't get that dirty. Although we did just have some salt, we did have a little bit of snow. I'm doing this voiceover now and it's January. I shot these videos over the summer and I've finally gotten around to uploading them. I spray the iron removal on the wheels as well, and I went over the door panels, especially low side skirts. I went over that several times and made sure I got plenty of iron removal in there because that's where you get a lot of contamination. It's funny, people are obsessed with status, and a big part of status isn't the badge or the brand name. It's how you take care of what you have, how you present yourself. It's so if you have an average car, but it's super clean and it's in great shape, that's going to impress the right people more than if you're just some lazy bastard with a nice car and it's got black wheels because of brake gunk and it's neglected, not well taken care of. How you take care of what you have is such a big deal. So I'm big on that. I always try to take care of what I have and appreciate what I have. And being in the automotive space, being a automotive content creator, I travel around to the best car shows around, and you see all the exotic stuff, and it's easy to get in your head because who can afford that stuff? These $1 million cars. It's cool, but it's not everything. It's not everything. You can still have fun with regular cars if you enjoy detailing, if you enjoy working on your cars, if you enjoy doing stuff with your hands. It's a great way to connect with your cars. I'm glad I got the pressure washer set up. I finally got this when I moved back from New York. I got the Karcher pressure washer, I got an extended hose, got the Adams products. I ordered practically all of them. All of the standard ones anyway. I didn't order like their air dryer and their seats and stuff like that. I don't need a stool to sit on. I feel like I'm getting older, but I'm not there yet, man. If I was a professional detailer, yeah, that's different, but for now I don't need anything like that. So after this video, I do the clay bar and I use the clay mitt for the first time. And then we do a two-step correction with my Porter cable, which that's my weakest link, is the polishing. And I guess that's most of us, man. The polishing is tough. It is, when I say it's tough, it's just really tedious. You have to be really patient. So for me, that is the hardest part. So we did two-step with the Adams compound and with the Adams fine polish, I believe it's called. Correct me if I'm wrong. And then I applied Jescar Power Lock, and I did the Colonite. And that turned out great, man. That turned out great. I was very happy with the results. Really had to keep going over this. As you can see, I really kept going over this. Because it's a white car, you can hardly see it, and the last thing I want is any of that stuff to dry on the car, and then I got to deal with that. So I went over it and over it and over it. Yeah, it's a lot of work doing this. It's not for everybody. People think you're nuts. If you're not into it, if you don't get it, it's a little crazy. But it's like therapy for me, man. It's just it's therapy. And I started making these videos. Obviously, most of my content is about other people's cars and new vehicles, a little bit of photography, but this is also a way for me to connect with you guys with something that I'm passionate about, I'm a weekend warrior about, and show some other stuff that I like to do. I would like to eventually maybe ceramic coat this just to learn how to do it. A car like this is a great car to practice on because it's a 20-year-old Honda, So PPF would be overkill. Even ceramic coating might be overkill, but I like what you get with ceramic coating, the way it lasts so long. It's the only problem with you going old school and doing power lock and Colonite, sealing in wax, is that it just doesn't last. I'll probably get 9 months to a year out of it. And I do top it with bead maker. Most of it's probably just the bead maker that's lasting. after the 9-month mark. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Stay tuned. We're going to go over the clay bar. Or I use the clay mitt for the first time in the next video. So stay tuned for that and the paint correction videos. I'll see you guys next time, and thanks for watching.